Craig's beer reviews. Today we're going to be doing a beer that I got from Chemical Craig a little while back. It's the New Belgium Brewing's Lips of Faith Series Belgo India Pale Ale, or Belgian IPA. And the ABV on the bottle says it's 8%. So let's go ahead and crack into this great beer. Now, Chemical Craig, or Craig, told me that this beer reminded him of the Balancing Act Imperial Belgian IPA we collaborated on, or we collaborated on the recipe and he brewed it. And so thought that anything that's close to how awesome that one turned out would be awesome, would be good to try. So he sent me the bomber of it. And a glass I haven't used yet in a review is my Corsendonk tulip glass. It's a little different, doesn't have the flared out look like a normal tulip would, but for a Belgian style beer, I thought I'd use it. Now for the sake of time, I'm just going to pour straight up, close up to the camera so you guys can see that really nice color that it's pouring. Alright, so as you can see here, we have a really definitely filtered beer. It's definitely like a honey color to it, definitely from the dark crystal malts and the honey malt. It's definitely like a golden honey color with a white, like eggshell white, like 1.5 finger, somewhat frothy head. It might stick around a little bit, but I don't think it's going to leave much lacing, but we'll see about that. And it's a pretty, not too much carbonation, but a really beautiful level of carbonation rising throughout the beer from the nucleation site, which is this part of the glass. So for the aroma on the Belgo IPA, just to give you another view of the label, right up front you get a ton of citrus and some nice like that dry lemony note that you would get from a typical Belgian yeast. A little bit of spice. It's not as upfront citrusy as the Balancing Act was, but you can definitely smell the lemony, like bright, crisp citrusiness from the Trappist yeast, and a good amount of, there's a little bit of sweet honey biscuity malt in there too. So let's taste this beer. So maybe when it was fresher it tasted like the Balancing Act, but the malt, the honey malt, definitely gives it a nice honeyish taste. So the hops definitely contribute a decent amount of bitterness to the beer, and some citrus and floral notes. I'm surprised how much of like a honeyish flavor there is to the beer. I haven't really had that many beers with honey malt, but it's definitely unique. And with all those citrusy hops in there, maybe when it was a tad fresher of a bottle, you can taste them a little more, but overall, you're getting some nice Belgian like breadiness, a little bit of honey, like I said, and some good bitterness. So I'm going to go ahead and drink a little more of this beer and come back to my final thoughts on the Lips of Faith Belgo India Pale Ale. Okay, so I'm back here with the New Belgium Belgo India Pale Ale, Belgian IPA. It's letting me down a little bit. I thought that, like, even with the Belgian yeast and even with some age on it, I would think that with all those citrusy hops there'd be a lot more citrus flavor, even if the hop character diminished a little bit in the aftertaste or somewhere in the flavor there'd be a ton of citrus. And I read some reviews on it because I was so confused, and a lot of other people didn't really get, like, some people claimed there was some juicy hoppiness, but a lot of other people said they were expecting more, more of the hops to overtake the Belgian yeast. So let's dive back in. Yeah. So I'm still getting pretty much, as it warms up, I'm still getting a lot of the same flavors I was getting in the beginning, which is like a sweet, caramelly, honey, biscuity malt, a little bit of like a spiciness in the back, definitely like dryness that like a Trappist yeast or Belgian yeast for that matter leaves on your tongue. Yeah. So overall, I thought, just to make this a quick review, I guess. I was expecting a lot more out of this beer when Chemical Craig recommended it. And nicely sent it to me, so thank you, Craig, for this. I was expecting a lot more out of this beer. Like a ton of citrus hops, a little more crispness to the beer. You can't be as perfect as a home brew that you sit there and you make the recipe yourself and you brew it and you monitor the fermentation. But like this beer is just a tad subpar for my expectations. I don't like giving negative comments and reviews, it's just that I really was expecting a lot more. So I'm going to sit here and sip a little more and think of what I'm going to rate each characteristic of the beer. But I'm assuming that, from my impression now, it's going to get somewhere in the 70s, maybe the mid to low 70s, something like that. So if you can find, I've tried other New Belgium Lifts of Faith series beers and liked those. So if you can find them, I definitely recommend trying those out. And of course, try more New Belgium beers in general. They have a nice wide range of beers. And yeah, so if you've had this beer, let me know. Let me know what you thought of it, because it's good to hear some feedback so that I can think back to what I thought of it and say, oh, maybe I was missing something. So yeah, so keep drinking craft beer. You never know what you'll find out there. Have a good day and a great night. Cheers.